All right, let's talk about one of the most chilling endings in all of literature. I'm talking about the final pages of Kafka's The Metamorphosis. It's a story that really gets under your skin, right? It asks this really tough question. What happens when someone you love becomes a problem you just can't bear anymore? So this really brings us to the core question that Kafka just throws right at us. What is the true cost of survival? I mean, really think about it. When your own future, your own life is on the line, what or maybe who are you willing to let go of? This question, it just looms over everything that happens with the Samsa family at the end. Section 1, A Family's New Reality. And the subtitle here is The Burden of Gregor. So yeah, let's set the scene. By the end of the story, that initial shock and even the pity the family felt for Gregor, it's long gone. It's curdled into something way darker. And it's all because of their new, really tough reality. I mean, you've got these two totally opposite worlds living under the same roof. It's wild. On one hand, you have Gregor, just decaying. He's been hurt by his own dad. He's totally alone, basically forgotten. But then on the other side, you see his family struggle. It's all about survival for them. They're taking on jobs they hate, renting out rooms, and all that pressure just builds into this resentment for Gregor. He's not their son anymore, is he? He's just an obstacle. And this right here is what makes it so tragic. Because inside that creature, it's still Gregor. His mind is still human. He's still worrying about them, about their money, feeling guilty. He's still their son, their brother. But they just can't see it anymore. And that disconnect, wow, it's just absolutely heartbreaking. Okay, next up, a bond shattered. The sound of the violin. So all this tension, this growing disconnect, it's all building up to one single moment. A breaking point, really. And it's the moment where any tiny bit of hope for connection just gets obliterated. And believe it or not, it all comes down to his sister playing the violin. So Gregor hears the violin, and for just a moment, something sparks. The music draws him out of his dark, lonely room. It's like, for a second, he remembers who he was. He remembers his love for his sister, his love for art. And it might just be the very last time he feels anything close to being human. But then, bam, reality comes crashing in. This beautiful, fragile moment is just shattered. The boarders, the guys they rented a room to out of desperation, they see him, and their reaction is pure disgust. They threaten to leave, to not pay rent, and that just destroys everything. It's a brutal reminder that in their world, there's no room for something so monstrously out of place. And what happens next? Oh, it's the final nail in the coffin. The absolute turning point. And the person who delivers the final blow isn't his father. It's Gret, his sister, the one who'd cared for him the most. She's the one who says it. She says they have to get rid of the creature, not Gregor, the creature. That's it. She completely dehumanizes him. And that's when their resentment turns into an actual plan. So, Section 3, Death as Liberation. A solution for the Samsas. Yeah. After Greta says that, it's over. Gregor's fate is sealed. He goes back to his room, and he dies that night. But the way Kafka reads it, his death isn't a tragedy for the family. No, it's something else. It's a solution. His death is presented as a kind of release. And it works both ways, doesn't it? For Gregor, hey, it's an end to his suffering, his isolation. But for the family, it's their freedom. Freedom from the burden, from the shame, from the constant financial worry he represented. His death is literally their liberation. And this part is just so jarring. When they find him, there are no tears, no mourning, nothing. The book is crystal clear about this. Their first overwhelming feeling is just relief. Like a massive weight has just been lifted off their shoulders. The problem is gone. And just look at how fast they move on. It's incredible. In just a few hours, one single morning, they find him dead, they kick out the boarders, they all write letters to get out of work for the day, and then they just leave the apartment to go on a trip to the countryside. Just like that. Gregor is wiped from their lives with this chilling efficiency. All right, on to our final section, The Hopeful, Cruel Future. And the subtitle, A New Beginning Built on a Grave. This is it, the final, deeply unsettling scene. This is where Kafka just twists the knife. He shows us their new beginning, a new life that's literally built on the grave of their son. And the imagery here is just so powerful, isn't it? They leave that dark, cramped apartment, which was basically Gregor's tomb, right? And they step out into the bright, warm sunshine. They're going to the countryside. It's not just a trip, it's a symbol. They're walking away from the past and into a future that is finally totally free of him. And this is where the cruel, profound irony of the whole story just hits you like a ton of bricks. Think about it. Gregor worked himself half to death as a traveling salesman for them, to support them. And now, it's only by completely erasing him, not just his body, but his memory, everything he did for them, that they can finally thrive. Their bright new future is bought and paid for by his complete and total erasure. So at the end of the day, this is so much more than just a weird story about a guy who turns into a bug. What Kafka is really doing is holding up a mirror. He's showing us the anxieties of just trying to survive, especially in the middle class. He's saying, look, when the pressure gets to be too much, the financial pressure, the pressure to just be normal, even the strongest family bonds can just rust away and break. It seems that sometimes just being practical can completely stomp out love. And so, we're left with this one last haunting question, a question the story really forces you to ask yourself. When it all comes down to pure survival, what is family even worth? It is a deeply uncomfortable thought to sit with. And that right there, that is the cold, brilliant heart of Kafka's masterpiece.